Welcome to Glenwhan Gardens here in southwest Scotland. We're very lucky to have the Gulf Stream, and we grow plants from all around the world. And it's hard to believe that we started just 40 years ago with nothing but bracken and gorse. Glenwhan in the Gaelic means green and grassy place with plenty of rushes, and believe you me, that's how it was. We have a lovely tree trail now with over 160 trees collated for the dendrologist, the tree lover. Rhododendron fazioso flore pleno. And another beautiful hybrid rhododendron, Elizabeth, with her scarlet trusses. The gullera you can just see creeping up. It's a good place to shelter when it's raining. The huge leaves. And the potager, which is where we grow our vegetables for the tea room. This is one of the most beautiful hybrid rhododendrons in the garden, and I'm not quite sure what it's called. Magnolias are now looking absolutely wonderful, and if you don't get a frost, then they go on for ages. Hardy hybrids which have been planted on the slopes. At the start of the garden they didn't need any shelter. Now we have the species, the native rhododendrons, growing through the woodland. In the boggy areas we grow many varieties of iris. Azalea firefly, absolutely brilliant colours. One of the beautiful evergreen azaleas, very good for small gardens. We've placed seats at all the viewpoints. We have many varieties of primula which like the boggy conditions, and this one is Primula pulverenta. The Knaphill azaleas are absolutely beautiful, and many of them are scented. As well as their magnificent trusses, you have the extra bonus in the autumn of lovely autumn colours. The trees in the background are the original shelter belt that we planted right round the garden when we started. The lovely shrub is Azara macrophylla. The bees love it too. Another most beautiful hardy hybrid rhododendron called Point Defiance. The trusses look like wedding hats to me. One of the beautiful maples waving in the breeze, and the Iris sibirica. The Peace Pinnacle was put in for the millennium and for the 80th birthday of my husband, and it marks the cultivated garden and the 17 acres of wild moorland. Looking down the water garden, and you can see the marquee for our weddings in the distance. I have to say, I dug all those ponds out myself by hand. You're at the major viewpoint, looking out over Luce Bay and the Mull of Galloway, and on a clear day you can see the Isle of Man, which is not always a good sign because it means it might rain. This beautiful Iris sibirica does very well at Glenwhan. Nobody knows its name, and it came from an Aberdeenshire garden. Looking across the Lochen, in the foreground you can see Euphorbia griffithii fireglow. When I'm not gardening, I do a bit of clay modelling, as you can see there. The wild boar that you see there was originally made for the Medici family, and you can still see it in the Uffizi Museum in Florence. A medley of azaleas, and behind you see a wonderful rock strata. Look out for the lovely big koi carp you'll see cruising the waters, and there are some cannibal trout. On a fine day, I have a swim in the loch, and there's nothing nicer than to relax in the evening with a glass of white wine and watching the sun go down. Well, I hope you've enjoyed your tour around the gardens with me, and I hope you'll come to Glenwhan Gardens again soon.